Hey everybody, if this is still live, hopefully it is. Cat hair. You're watching Ballerina Badass. My name is Georgia Reed, and tonight we're doing another Pointe Shoe Party live stream. I see it looks like it's working. Hopefully it's working. But anyways, I am going to touch base first on the pair of shoes that I worked on last week. I found these Freeds, and they are the 5-box double X, if you can see that right there. This is the Freed Maker. These suckers are from, I know, every time I have to like look again. Where are they from? March 29th, looks like 2000. Nope, 2001. Sorry, 2001. Good Lord. So that's actually, it looks like it's around Kansas City Ballet, when I was with Kansas City Ballet. And also says wing block, Pointe flex, something. Forte flex. So if anyone knows where this maker might be out there, I know I should probably email Freed. I don't know that they'll respond to me as a non-pro dancer anymore, a retired pro dancer. Yeah, but if anyone knows, let me know, because I would love to get more of these. So, as I saved these for whatever reason, I'd even signed them. I was going to give them away, I guess, and I tried them on a whim, and they fit and felt amazing. And that's what it's like to have shoes that are like custom fit. The maker themselves did not custom fit these on me. It's just when I was dancing with Cincinnati Ballet and Kansas City Ballet, you go into the Pointe shoe room and you just try on all different kinds of slippers until you find one that works, and then they just keep ordering them for you. It's magical. Anyways, I miss it. I'll own that. That was one of the perks that I enjoyed. Oh, I haven't finished this excuse me, cough hack. No, I don't have COVID-19 that I know of. They're not testing you unless you're symptomatic right now. So, no. I have not shown any symptoms. However, I am having a pickle martini. Maybe that's what's making me cough. Oh my God. Today was a day. I had, my full-time day job. I work remotely right now, and it's busy, y'all. I feel very lucky. Very, very lucky. And to all my friends out there who aren't working, oh my gosh. Seeing as I am someone who over the course of my lifetime, I've worked over 60 jobs. Yeah, I'll say that right here on the stream. And you're like, wow, what's wrong with you, Georgia? All kinds of things. We have a whole discussion about what's wrong with Georgia. But I worked so many part-time jobs and waiting tables and doing all kinds of odd jobs while I was pursuing my career as a dancer. I worked part-time jobs even while I was dancing full-time in companies because they didn't pay enough. I worked all the time, and finding a good fit is something hard to do. And I feel really good about this job I have now. So anyways, with these shoes, I have finished stitching. I'm actually kind of putting together a separate video showing what I did. I'll put it up in case people want to see. I do have other videos on my channel. There's one specifically about darning Pointe shoes. So, oh, it's saying that the stream status is poor. But then it says stream is healthy. Nope, then it says poor. Oh, well. Okay, we're going to keep going. Hold on a second. Hey, baby. Yeah. Will you check and see if it's streaming okay? Sure. Thank you. It's really nice when your husband is also a technical expert on all things streaming. So, yeah, I put on the elastic on the back, and I've double darned the edges, the tips, and then I shellacked them. I sprayed shellac on the inside, and then I placed them in an oven that I heated. I say I heated it to 400 degrees, but then I got lazy. It got up to 300. I was like, that's hot enough. And I turned the oven off. Don't leave the oven on. You will burn your shoes. You don't want to do that. And then I put the shoes in, and as the oven cools, the shoes get nice and hard. And that's great. They're still just a touch warm, so I don't want to put them on yet. But I am very excited to try these guys out in the studio. Side note, when you're baking them, I do recommend you turn this part inside out and tuck in all ribbons and elastics, right? And also then it's just a little more open to get the air in to bake. That's a tip, a toe tip. So, tonight, Russian points. I have this extra pair of beautiful Russian points that I found in my bin of shoes from when I just was like, that's it. I quit again. What was that, 2017? Yeah. And I was like, ugh, done. So, oh, good. Thank you, movie boy. Hold on. Let me chat. Yay. Okay, cool. So, yeah, I found these. Trust me, boy, when I am completely out of debt and have just money to play with, yeah, I'll buy a lot of point shoes and a lot of tights. Yeah. Which, speaking of tights, it's interesting. I keep looking at leotards online. I know, I'm just going to sound so like, oh, back in my day. But back in my day, I really liked the way the leotards look from the 70s and 80s. I like the high cut on the hip. I love the lycra. I love everything about it. I've never liked cotton leotards. So I'm thinking of taking one of my old Leos and creating a pattern out of it and just sewing up my own. No, they're not going to be fancy. No, I don't plan on turning it into a leotard line. Oh, and whatever. There's other dancers out there doing that. Go follow them. Go get their awesome Leos. I used to stitch. I got into a moment in time when I was stitching up jeans, like patchwork jeans. I was using fabric from like old things that I loved and stitching up like holes in my jeans. I'm saying like a lot. Anyways, I have this great pair. It's fallen apart. I'm gonna have to re-stitch it together, and I don't even know if I'm gonna fit in them anymore, quite honestly. But I really liked that every bit of patchwork I was doing was personal to me, so I can point to the fabric and I go, oh, that's from this shirt that I once had. That's from this memory. It's like memories, right? So then people liked it. I had a friend commission me for a pair. I did that. Someone else wanted it. And then all of a sudden I ran into someone who has a jeans company and they were talking about doing a special brand together. And then I started going, wow, that's a lot of work and I don't really want to do it. Sometimes I'm very much like Rick and Rick and Morty, if you've ever seen that cartoon, where there's that episode where they do the spin on needful things and Rick has his own shop where he's fixing all of the evil products that the devil's making. And halfway through, he just gets bored. He's like, I'm bored. Burning it down. I'm like, yes, that's exactly it. It's probably ADD, and I don't say that lightly. Um, I have actually talked to a therapist and been diagnosed as possibly, having some form of ADD. So it's not focus as it is. You focus too much. That's my interpretation. I'm sure people will have comments to make, but for me at least, because I focus so hard, it gets overwhelming, right? Because I want to focus on everything at the same level that I do, like ballet. I got obsessed with ballet, but then anything else I do, oh my gosh, I have to obsess on that too. So a lot of worry, a lot of anxiety. It's all kinds of fun. These Russian points, the reason we're here tonight. Handmade in Russia, the E-Pro E26. EPD 37, width 4, vamp 3, FM pink RP. I used to know what all that meant. But what I'm going to do like what I used to do. I had a point shoe diary. Since I'm not putting on so many shoes all at once anymore, I'm just going to put it in my regular journal. I have a ton of these journals. I've been journaling. I've got a diary from when I was like 5. Okay, so I've been journaling my whole life. And trust me, it's interesting to open some of them up. It's kind of like looking under a dark rock and finding spiders and scary things that you really didn't want to know about. But as time goes on, it's getting a little bit easier to look back. So I'm just going to stick these in here, though. But I do recommend this to dancers, especially that are starting out, if you haven't found your shoe yet, or you're just exploring different shoes. I recommend taking the stickers from whatever shoe you are doing. You put it in your book. Point shoe diary. Stay. Get in there. Okay, it's not my sticker. And then I'm going to put the date that I sewed them. Today is the 22nd. Well, I may not sew them tonight, but I'm going to break them in. And anything else? Oh, and then what I do, I make a separate, like a little name, right? So I don't know which one's going to be left or right yet. That's the only problem. Oh, darn. Does that mean I've got to like take my shoes off and try them on? Yeah, it does. Okay, so anyways, I've got that started, right? In my little book. And I'll make notes in here like this will be my, I don't know, I'll draw a little cat. So it'll be cat left and cat right. Okay, or it'll be rainbow left and rainbow, or star left, star right. And then I'll make a note in here so I'll know, oh, the star shoe that matches the little drawing I did on the foot. And hopefully I do it in a place where it doesn't sweat and turn into a blob that you can't read anymore. I can then look in my journal and go, okay, I started these on 9/22, and I'll make comments about the shoes. Do I like them? Are they tight? Are they good for balancing versus are they good for turning versus are they the kind of shoe that looks really fantastic for photographs, but do they break down too fast? Different kinds of shoe strengths you might want for different ballets you're doing. Or so if I'm doing Sugar Plum Fairy versus if I'm doing Don Quixote, which kind of shoe is better? This is stuff to think about now or not think about. Just put on the shoes and don't think so hard, and maybe you have parents with unlimited resources or whatever, your own. I did not. I was always the kid in the photographs in my dance studio who had the crappy looking shoes because my parents, bless their hearts, worked their butts off, both of them working 2 jobs so that I could go not only to a private school for regular school, but also go to ballet school and then have pointe shoes. I did not have a lot of pointe shoes. So anyways, looking at these, I am going to need to slip them on because my feet are different. Some people, I think I've heard they have feet that match so well, they can switch their shoes back and forth and it helps keep them balanced. My feet are too different. Like my left foot's bigger. It has a different kind of arch than my right foot. It's wanky jobs. So fun times are coming up, y'all. Here, we'll save this to take notes. This should be interesting and potentially uncomfortable. But vodka helps. Okay. No, anyone under the age of 21. I'm not a proponent of drinking under the age of 21. When I went to Boston Ballet Summer Dance Program, did I sneak into nightclubs? Absolutely. Did I have a fake ID? Absolutely. Did I try alcohol a couple of times, but I wasn't really into it. I just wanted to dance, and I wanted to dance with my cute male dancer friends, most of them who were pretty much none of them were really interested in me except for maybe 1 or 2. So they wanted to go to the nightclub, so I wanted to go to the nightclub. So I went to the nightclubs. Does that mean that now as a stepmom, I'm like, yeah, go terrified for my children. But on the other hand, I don't have much of a leg to stand on as far as judgment goes. You know, it's a really tricky thing, you guys. And I love how, like, some parents just seem to forget all that. Like, well, I did it, but you can't do it. It's like, who's going to say that? Anyways, let the judgment begin. Oh, we have someone who's saying, I love your beautiful ballet soles. Well, thank you. We're not going to do foot fetish though. So if you're go somewhere else, my dear. I'm not for it. All right. This is about pointe shoes. So I'm going to just slip these on. Let's see if this will go on my left foot. How does that feel? A little tight. I keep doing this at the end of the day when my feet are a little more swollen. It's so smart. Definitely pull your elastics out of the way when you're trying them out. You also, I like to, when I'm first getting started, I'll do just a gentle on the box. You don't want to do it too much and lose any of the extra stability you need. I think I talked about this in previous episodes where if you do too much to them too fast, they break down way faster. No bueno. Okay, so let's get that opened up. Now let's try it again. So I'm putting it on my left foot. There we go. Yeah, that's better. Still a little bit. Okay, so just so you can see. I don't want to lose these elastics. It's pretty good. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm not putting anything in the shoe with these. You know, when I tried these on and bought them, I always danced with nothing in my shoes. And now, of course, it would be nicer and easier just to shove in a comfy toe thingy I still think this is so cheating, you guys. But let's put the ego down for a minute, shall we? Let's see if we can get it on. Claire Bear's here. Oh, okay. I'm breaking my door. Hi, Claire Bear. Yes, I know, right, girl? I'm excited too, because this keeps me motivated. And you guys keep me motivated. Yes, you do. You do. Okay, actually, that feels kind of good. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Okay, next stream, if I remember, I'll see if I can do it in the dance studio with dance clothes on so that you can kind of see what I am doing. Not cheating, LOL. Thank you, Kari. Carrie, which is it? Do tell. Okay, so here, let's see if I can show you. This is going to be interesting. And sorry about the bug bites. We have a lot of mosquitoes right now, and I go outside to feed the outdoor kitty that comes and visits us, and the mosquitoes, like, attack. It's really annoying. They love my feet and my arms. But there's the shoe, right? So I've got it's nice and snug on the heel, not too high for me, which I like. My arch is practically popping out of this shoe already. But I notice if I don't, I gotta, like, move this next time. If I don't break the shank where I want it to, it's going to break low, and it's not going to be pretty, and the shoe's not going to be able to support me. No good. But I'm liking this for the left foot, so let's see if this one over here is going to be good for the right foot. We'll just remember, make a note, that's the left one for now. This one, Cora, what do you say? I couldn't find a pair of good toe pads one year, so I used paper towels and sticky dots. Yes. Oh my gosh. I had my coach for Giselle. When I decided to return and do Giselle, the full-length ballet, when I was 4 years old, 35 by the time I performed it. Cray, I know. There's videos on that. But he was all about the paper towels. All about the paper towels and showed me exactly how to wrap them. I think I might have videos on that if you go way back to the beginning of my channel when I'm back in Beacon, New York, actually training for the role. It's interesting. And it worked. I actually really liked it a lot. So, different things. Okay, I'm going to totally gross you guys out because I have a really bad cut on my right foot. And the reason I have this cut is because of a bug bite that I scratched, and then, like, scratched in my sleep when I hadn't cut my toenails, and now it's bleeding. It's really gross, so I'm going to own it, though. But look at these Fry boots, right? Are they not fantastic? My brother John got them for me at an army supply store years ago. And let me tell you, when you get gifts from your brothers, at least for me in my household, it's a big freaking deal. So I will keep these boots until the day I die. She says, let's see, let's try this other one. Now see, like, I've also got this, it's a lamb's wool already built in, or pre-made toe cap. That's interesting. Really old school. When I first started out at Alexandra Ballet in St. Louis, amazing, wonderful. We used the lamb's wool it's just a puff of lamb's wool, and you take it and you make a little nest. And then you kind of put the nest around your toes, and then you put it in, and boop, and it's great until the nest moves, or the lambs will kind of globs together into these chunks, and then you can't really rip it out and make it soft and fluffy again. It was so annoying, but it was like, that's all we had back then, and that's all we were allowed to use. If you came in using those gel caps, oh my gosh, Miss A would kick your butt. If I kick your butt, she didn't even yell, but she gave you the look, and the look was enough to just make you want to wither and die. Anyways. Oh, Claire Bear, you watch my stand-up routines? You watch them? That's so awesome. Thank you for watching. You guys, I will do a video just kind of letting people know what I'm doing, but my manager basically just bought me a class last year before the pandemic hit. She said, you're taking this class, you're going to do it, I think you're going to love it. Stand-up terrified the hell. It still terrifies the hell out of me. I think it is scarier and harder than anything else in the world because it's just you. And are you funny? And considering, again, that my brothers, who I love very much, but basically my whole life told me, A, I'm a dork, B, I'm not funny, C, I suck. Those things stick with you. So, anyways, I took the class and I finally did it, and it was such a great outlet because I have a lot of stuff in my past. And if you've seen my stand-up routines, you'll know also what I'm dealing with immediately. And even that I'm careful to talk about because I have stepkids and I love them. And I certainly don't want to say anything that would speak ill of any of their other family members whose names won't be mentioned here. But stand-up has been such a release for me, and I love it, and I'm going to keep doing it. It still scares me like hell, but I'm working on the next one. So, yeah, it is. It's Kari, by the way. Yeah! Okay, good. Yes, that's a miracle to get a gift from your brother. Thank you. Thank you. Is it not, right? I see all of these, like, people who are like, oh, my brother and I are just best friends. We love each other so much. And it's like, dude. Not in my family. My family is like, hey, toilet crow, how you doing? Hey, loser, how you doing? Now they're like a lot nicer. It's been interesting. Since my mom died, since our mom died, forgive me, if John or Chris are watching this, we've like kind of bonded, the three of us. And now we've all kind of figured out we have some common issues with our family, and we're getting through it. Now, let's get back on task. I'm trying to put the right shoe on with a toe pad. Let's see how that feels. Okay, don't worry. I'll show you in just a second. Okay. Here we go. Sorry for the gross out. I should have put a Band-Aid on to cover it. Sorry, guys. Alrighty. You know what? Here, I'll even climb up on the stool because it's the right foot and you all can see it. Here we go. Yeah! Look at my horrible, that cut. I know, it's so gross. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to leave it out so it airs out, and then I forgot that I was going to do this. Bad, Georgia. So here's the shoe. All the way down. Again, the heel, you can see, you're like, oh, is that too low? But no, it's nice. Some people like the heel up higher. I like it here. But there's my arch. My arch is already ready to just, whoop, like pop out right there. But that's okay, because that's where I'll put the ribbons. All right. I kind of like how it looks already. We're pretty close. But again, like I said, I want to break this shank in a particular spot so it'll break a little bit higher. For me, if I break it just a little bit higher, then I have more of a platform to stand on. If I break it too low, then my feet just want to bloop. And that could be a result of not being strong enough. I'm always having to work on my rotators and my upper muscles, especially right now. I'm out of shape like crazy. But as a dancer growing up, either I was not paying attention or no one told me. I don't know. But I relied on my feet to do all the work for me. And I did very little to work on my turnout, rotators, all the good, important supporting muscles that you need to use to lift up and out of your body. I was a great jumper, so I just worked on my jumps. And that's something that I think a lot of dancers might do out there is you're like, oh, I'm good at turns. You just keep practicing your turns. Work on the stuff you're not good at. Yes, it's embarrassing. Yes, people will laugh at you and point, but they won't be laughing and pointing when you're busting out the moves because you put in the time and the effort, right? So it's tough. And I say that as someone looking back. It's not too bad in here. You see that little bit of puff? My foot's just a little bit swollen, right? So right now it feels like my foot's a little big for this shoe, but I know as soon as the shoe starts breaking in, it'll spread a bit. I'm going to stick with it. It feels good. Again, sorry for that ickiness. So I'm going to call this the right foot. Let's do it. Okay, what should we do for this time for the symbol? What do you guys think? I did star before, but I like stars. Pickle! So I'm going to say R. Crescent Moon. Let's draw it that way. I know what it is. That's all that matters. And left. And I'll show you guys when I'm done. Left. Crescent Moon. Oh, Crescent Moon. There we go. Okay. Also, by the way, guys, how are you all doing out there? Does anyone want to talk about what they are dealing with in their lives right now? Because I am more than happy to talk about that. If you need to vent, if you need to vent about dance, what's going on at your studios or your company or whatever you're dealing with or not getting to even deal with because you can't even get to a place to dance right now, whatever, if you need to vent, I am here. Okay, there it is. Left and right. La 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 la. Got one more sticker. It's just like the shoes at DSW, the little sticker on the bottom, and you're like, oops, that would be embarrassing on stage. You're Giselle dying, and you've got your sticker on your shoe. No, not so much. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my point shoe diary, and I'm going to say left and right crescent moon. There we go. So I've got that. And I'm going to say fit with toe pad. And that's it for now. So those, and let's see what else. I might add some more notes, but we'll see. So the next thing I'm going to do with these, because I'm all keep talking. I'm such a dork for the details. But then it's like, okay, we'll get to that in a minute. I know. She's like, what are you talking about, weird woman? So with Russian points, I don't know if you can see this, but they glue their shank down, and you can see it's that yellowy stuff. And I try to be careful about this because if you just rip and yank, sometimes you rip the canvas and you can rip the satin. You can really kind of screw up the shoe if you're not careful. So I really try to be gentle about this. So I'm taking my thumb, right? I'm holding this back here. I've got the heel kind of like you got the back of a cat right here. Don't do that unless the cat's like a baby kitten and you absolutely have to save it because it's trying to scratch someone because it's, you know, whatever. Don't do that to cats in general. Oh, Claire Bear says, still in almost full lockdown here in Melbourne. I can't wait to see my family again. It's been months and we're really close. You don't get to see your family? I am so sorry. I mean, I Zoom, I talk, you know, with my brothers. Well, I haven't talked to Chris in a while, but John and my dad and I just don't talk much, and I don't want to get into that. But we're not as much of a talky family. I talk to my husband's family a ton. I adore them. They're so easy to talk to, and they just let you be you. But it's still not the same as being there with them. I can't imagine if you are used to being with your family and you can't, how hard that must be. Listen, again, if you want to do a class for Melbourne, I was realizing, I think if I could do like Saturday at 7 p.m. I think that would work your time. Anyways, if you're just dying for a free Zoom class to shake it out and connect and try something, let me know. Hit me up, okay? Because I really want to help my Aussie people out. I would help anyone out that I can to a degree. I just can't do like classes all day and all night for one person, right? I do have a day job, but I'm trying to find ways to, again, whatever I can do to help you guys out. Such as I have, thus I give, some kind of Bible verse like that. Okay, so I'm gently pulling. See this? As I ramble. Now, you may not be able to tell, but as I'm pulling, here's the top shank, and then here's this piece under here. That's the hard bit. I used to know the fancy names for this. Now I don't, but that's the hard bit. Now, this doesn't want to pull down. Oh, there we go. Gently. Now, the nail, this shoe has a nail. The nail's way down here. So I don't want, I'm not going to pull that nail out. If the nail's up here, sometimes I'll pull it out. Oh, Claire Bear, you're picking out carpet colors. Please tell me raspberry is involved. I love raspberry. I do love raspberry, but I can't imagine. Everything here in LA seems like it's brown. Okay, so I'm going to bend this down a little bit. Again, it's funny. I feel like for me when I'm doing my shoes, this may sound overly holistic, but I like to treat them the way I do when I'm stretching my own body. If you just force a stretch, you can feel, right? Your muscles are shocked, or you'll rip something, or you'll hear a pop, or something bad, and I call that danger pain. When you ease into it, right, and you can feel it giving, it works so much better. And I like to treat my shoes that way, right? So I'm just like feeling that out. I don't go too much lower. Now, something I could do with this particular shoe, because there's a lot of different layers going on in here that I'm seeing, I could, in theory, I'm going to cut back some of this canvas here so you can see. It's like it's got extra tongues. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. Ow. Oh, scissors broke. Oh, that's nice. Anyways, I could cut this piece right here because this is really hard. It's funny. This is not as hard. This is almost superficial. It's like the sole. But this is like the shank, the hard shank part right here. I'm hoping you can see this. If I wanted to, I could trim that down, and that could force. I don't want to go too low, though. I could force where I want the arch to go. I'm going to try and take off just a bit. Just a bit, not a lot. These scissors are not ideal. I should have gotten my other scissors. By the way, you don't want to use your parents' good sewing shears, and you really don't want to use the kitchen shears. These are just like across the board shears here. But I would recommend getting your own personal strong set of shears. Go ahead and get a pair of sewing shears at Joann if you want, but know that then they're going to be for crap for sewing. But you want to keep them just for your point shoes because they will get worn down. I'm going to take off just a bit if I can. Let's see if it'll let me. It's really hard to do. Oh, see how it's starting to catch that canvas and satin area? Be very careful or you will cut a nice big hole in your shoes and that sucks. And you got to stitch it. Okay, boop. So I took off just a teeny bit. What is that? I don't know what that is, but it is hard. Oh, it looks like it's cardboard. Just layers and layers of cardboard, but really hard. Just that tiny bit. Let's see if that makes it go where I want it to go. So I'm going to put this, right shoe back on, and let's see how she looks now that I've done a little bit of work. And again, this is the trick, right? You do a little bit of work, and then it gets perfect, and this shoe's perfect, and then you wear them for like one rehearsal and then they're dead. And you're like, what the heck? And that's the hard part of having really flexy feet. For all you dancers out there who are like, I wish I had flexy feet. No, not necessarily. Do they look really cool? Yeah, if all you had to do in ballet is point, great. But you know what? You gotta do things like Pointe turns, and Italian foites, and balances, and pirouettes, and développés where you have to stand on one foot for like a really long time. And with really flexy feet that don't have a good support structure behind them, it kind of sucks. And I've seen dancers with not as great feet. I'm not talking like full-on feet, but like not as great feet. And they have less injuries. They're really solid on their turns. They can just balance for hours. And I am totally jealous. So just FYI, all the dancers, everybody, I wish there was a way, I wish teachers would sit with their dancers and note, well, you have to be careful, right? Because there's no winning with teachers, I don't think. But I wish there was a way to say, you know, like, Georgia, you have such a gift for jumping and for presentation, and you have really pretty feet. That's awesome. Work on the other things. Other person, you have amazing extension, and you can turn for days. Other person, but like take the time to note the qualities and the abilities of each dancer and recognize them and honor them. And then don't be threatened by them, you know, work to make your stuff better. And then, I don't know, is that even possible, you guys? Okay, pickles. Here we go. Let's see how the shoe looks now. I'm sure you're all like, we could have gotten all this done in like 10 minutes, but you keep talking, Georgia. I know with the icky thing, but try not to look at that. Okay, now, oh yeah. I don't know if you can tell, but it does feel a little bit more right in the arch where I want it to be. I'll have to sew it for you to really be able to see it. And I'll need to break in the box. You see here, there's no give here. This is where I wish I need to get it to have a little more give. I might put a little bit of water here or a little bit of rubbing alcohol, not too much. I almost wish it broke just a little bit lower on my foot, but it doesn't. So I'll have to break that in. But then I bring that back up. Yeah, that's going to be nice. That's going to be real nice. All right. Good. Okay, so happy with that. Now I'll do the left one. Left one. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay, so again, gentle pull apart. Gentle. Now, let's see, are these cool yet? Almost cool. I want to try these on for you guys so you can see them when I'm done. All right. So we'll pull the heel back again. Gentle. Gotta be gentle. Ooh. Yes. Okay, this time it looks like the shank is sticking. Again, but be careful not to go too far down, especially if you have arches like mine. That's nice. Okay, so again, you can see in there, if you can tell. Come on, baby. There we go. There's that hard shank piece back there. And there's this other piece. It gets even thicker as you go lower. So that's interesting. They're kind of gradiating the amount of shank as you go up towards the top. Really cool. I mean, you guys, these are handmade. I know I'm going to sound really dumb right now, but that's okay. I say dumb things sometimes. Go ahead and cut that out and put that on your Twitter. These appear to be handmade, and I can't imagine the amount of time and effort someone puts into one pair of these shoes, and then boop, they're used, and then they just get tossed out. It's like, no. Maybe that's why I have such a hard time throwing them out. Maybe I'm a hoarder. So I'm going to, again, you'll see that canvas is glued on either side. I'm going to trim it back a bit. Okay, this one's trickier. There's more glue on here. Interesting. There we go. There we go. All right, now, scissors. Let's trim a little bit, just a little bit. Especially my left foot is way more pointy than the right foot. So let's just be careful about how much we, trimmy trim. Yeah, this one does not even want to cut. That's nice. Yes, and done. All right, now she's trimmed. All right. I'm going to try this one on quick. Sometimes I'll bend it back a little bit. Not too much again. Yeah. Okay, here we go, my darling. I'll use this toe thing again. Right. I know, I'm just like all about toe shoes tonight. Toe shoes, point shoes, toe shoes. Which one's it supposed to be? Someone made a comment on one of my videos the other day where they said, well, the beginning was a bit inappropriate, but overall really good content. And I thought, what did I say at the beginning? So I need to go back and watch the video to remember what it is that I said. But whatever. Probably something silly. Hi, Isai Zamora. Hi. Did I say it right, Isai? I hope so. Yeah, sometimes I wish this was like a podcast and we could all talk. But, let's feel. Oh, that feels great. You guys, when a shoe works, it works. There's a little bit. Okay, I'm going to show you guys what's going on here. Hold on. So, on the left side, I have little, what do they call them? Bunionettes on the left side and bunions on the right. And these are hereditary. I've talked about this before. And I slammed my foot into a coffee table, excuse me, I'm drooling, months ago. And I think I really did do some damage because this bunionette, it's not the bunionette, it's underneath it. I bruised something really bad in here, so it's still really, really tender. Oh, good, I said it right. Yay, Isai! But you'll see here, when I'm pointing, notice how the fabric, I'm pulling it up, but I'm feeling a little bit of tension in here, right here where the bunion is. Now, this is where if I could have a really, additional shoe fit of some sort, I'm sure any point shoe fitter looking at this would be like, oh, it needs to be a bit, maybe wider here or lower. I've noticed for me, this is a weird thing. If the shoe is wider, then my feet can actually sink down more easily. If the shoe is just a little tighter, it kind of like pushes it up. It props it up. So, again, I'm not wise enough to know why that is exactly, but it works for me. But I don't like when I feel there's a little bit of a, I don't know, almost like you're squishing over something here. I'm not putting it into words very well here. My apologies. But overall, it's feeling pretty good. I hope here on the foot. I think they're a beautiful shoe. As far as ability, they are, I use the Grishkos when I perform Giselle, but I can also hop in these. See what I'm getting into that kind of hop mode for hopping. They're good for that. I feel a nice balance. We're not going to talk about fouettes because Georgia and fouettes, I still have this. I would figure them out, and then there are days where I'm like, if I never do a fouette again in my life, oh my god. So it goes both ways. But overall, I'm feeling good about the way these are working. Okay, it's 7:40. I might be cutting this one a little bit tighter unless we get into some major conversation tonight because I want to get some other things done. But we'll see what happens. We might go a little longer. Great. So, got the shoes now. I've kind of like worked on the shanks. You'll notice all this extra here. I don't want to pull this too tight because then it's really going to affect my Achilles tendon and back and cause tendonitis, which is no bueno for me. So I've got them at a good place right now. I will tie this. I don't like to cut it too close because there might be a chance I'll want to change it. You never know. I don't do a bow. I'll do a double tie. But then, I don't have my lighter. It's always good to have a cigarette lighter in your kit because it's a really great way to just burn off these icky edges. If you can't carry a cigarette lighter, definitely use nail polish, right? Clear is best. This is a light pink, so I do it, but... Oh, Isai says, I love my Russian points. I wear the Rubens. Oh, the Rubens. Yep, the Rubens are good. I know about the Rubens. I'm going to leave just a little bit here. If you have... Ooh, thank you. Aw, my hubby brought me a lighter because he's watching my show. Or else he's listening in the background while he's drawing. My husband, by the way, is an incredible artist. Oh my god. Is it silly? I still want to call him my boyfriend because I still get butterflies every time he walks in the room. I just said this in an email to one of my friends today. I was like, I still get butterflies when he walks in the room. I think he's the cutest thing on 2 feet. Anyways. Okay, so see that little bit left? Again, you have to be careful depending on how much you leave because for me, because of my feet and the way jeans are tight, the way they arch, if you're not careful, that little bit of drawstring will rub and cause a blister, and you'll hate your life. Let me tell you, you're like, oh, it's fine. But when you're 6 hours into rehearsal, the blisters. You get to this like mental place, right? I'm sure you guys know, you've been through this. You get to that mental place where you're just dancing above the pain. It's like you kind of block it out. It's unbelievable. Okay, yeah, I know, Clara. Okay, so, take the lighter. Be careful. If you go too far, the whole thing will burn down. You don't actually even put the flame on the ribbon or the elastic or anything. You hold it near and the heat melts it. So if you can see that, just get near. Melty. Oh, got too close. Danger. Okay, so I've got to let that cool. And then you have to make sure, again, if it melts too hard, that can annoy your feet. Sometimes what you can do, you can tuck it under and then put a little bit of toe tape in there to hold it. But honestly, when your feet sweat and you're constantly relevéing and plieing and all that, it's going to come undone. And then the tape will wad together in a nice ball that will create yet another blister. There's no winning. So maybe what you have to do is just, again, if you're just using these for performance, you cut it right to the edge and you forget about it, move on. If you're trying to make it last, that's a different thing. But see here, I can still access the knot if I want to and change it if I so desire. There's that shoe. Let's do the right shoe. There we go. Yes. And again, if you single knot it, I'm telling you now, it's like your sweatpants with where like the elastic gets lost, the drawstring. It will do that in shoes too, and that sucks. Drives me nuts. Maybe that's just some weird OCD thing for me, but I don't know. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the inimitable, is that a word? Inevitable, inimitable, illimitable, the glorious Joy Womack saves all of these elasticy thingies and like somehow stitches them onto the bottom of her toes when she darns them to make this extra platform. Go to her YouTube and check it out. I watched that like years ago and I thought it was pretty cool, but also way too much work for my interest. But you never know. It's a weird. You become like this weird hobo as a dancer, at least for me. Maybe I'm the only weird hobo here, but I saved everything. So extra elastic, these little pieces. I just never knew when I was gonna need them or use them. I found different uses, especially when it came to my point shoes, and I can't come up with the moments right now, but I recommend to you. You're gonna laugh, but that's why I have this big baggie and all these extra elastics, because it adds up. And when you're a dancer trying to pay your rent, paying extra for those elastics gets really annoying. And no one's looking at the gosh dang elastics. Okay, if you're doing a photo shoot for blog, hopefully they're going to provide you with really nice elastics for your new shoes that you'll be wearing. But maybe not, I don't know. But if you're on stage, as long as it matches your skin tone, no one's looking at your elastics. They don't want to see the elastics. They don't want to think about the elastics. All they want to think about is how they're transported by the beauty of your swan lakiness. Whatever the hell else they think about. I'm telling you, you guys. Anyways, it's weird being away from ballet. Even when I was dancing professionally, I would sometimes just step back and be like, okay, ballet is kind of ridiculous, right? But I love the music so much, and I love the challenge, and I'm obsessed and weird, so I can see it both sides. Ooh, Claire Bear. I stash all sorts of bits of elastic in my sewing kit because they really come in handy. Thank you. Yes. Ooh, and you have a blister tip. Blister tip, you guys. I usually drain the blister and apply antiseptic powder. Ooh. Then cover with a Band-Aid. I find it dries and lets the skin harden a bit so the blisters are less likely to return. I love it. It's so interesting. My stepdaughter got a blister and I was like, oh, I can help you. She's like, no, I already talked to my friend who is a wrestler and he said, don't pop it and you just cover it and leave it alone. And I was like, I totally got offended because I'm like, I'm the professional dancer. And I went, wait a minute. Okay, check my ego. She got advice from her friend. Her friend might be right. It might be another approach. Whatever. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, maybe then she'll come to me. But then maybe not. Maybe she'll still go to another friend because you typically want to go to your friends rather than your parents, especially when you're a teenager. It's just the way it is. So, again, reminder for parents, try not to take things personally. Okay, but the blister thing, yeah, I think that's great. I want to know about this antiseptic powder. If you have a name of the powder, unless it's just a generalized thing, I want to know. I've never tried a powder before. We use Neosporin a lot over here. For me, the best advice I got was you don't, if the skin's ripped, you try and lay the skin back on. If it's all ripped off, that's another bag of hell. But you would pop the blister on the side, gently drain it like you're suggesting, and then you just put toe tape right over it, and you leave it there for 7 days, and you don't do anything. You shower with the toe tape, you don't remove it, and in 7 days, you pull it off, and voila, you've got, more of a, like callousy thing, and the skin's kind of melded back in. I don't think that's as sanitary, but I did it, and it worked. So, to each their own. There's all these different great ways to do it. Ooh, she says, us dancers get super protective of our blisters. I know, right? What is the right way? I should do a whole video where I interview like 5 dancers and go, what is the right way to do blisters? Chances are, because it's hard to get a hold of dancers now, because I have not been in the game for so long, I know you're like, what do you mean? Don't you have friends? There are no friends in ballet. Don't you know that? I'll do 5 different characters with 5 different opinions on blisters. It's so wrong. All right. We've now trimmed the elastic. Let's go ahead and burn these. Burn, baby. Oh, there we are. Very nice. Yes, lovely. Beautiful. Okay, that one was nice. I should darn them next, but I darned my other ones and finished that up today. And when I'm darning, it gets annoying having to continue to pull the needle through. I get tired of it. So I'm going to sew instead. Let's find some ribbons. Okay. Ribbons. Ooh, Claire Bear. I'm not sure what the name is, but my dad gave it to me to help me with the blisters. Aww. Claire Bear's dad helped her find the antiseptic powder. You say it's easy to find, but aren't you over in Australia and, like, isn't everything backwards there? Like, water drains the other direction. What makes you think that us silly Americans are going to have antiseptic powder? If anyone knows, let me know. Oh, there is, though, funny enough, actually, well, it's not antiseptic at all, but I remember one of my other coaches, she recommended using the diaper rash cream. I'm sure I've said this in another video. Use a diaper rash cream on your not on your blisters, but on your calluses, on your toes, and it helps kind of harden the skin. And it does work. The problem is then, like I've said in other videos, God, how repetitive am I? You need to then also moisturize your skin too. You got to kind of keep it in that balance. If you get it too hard, then they crack and bleed, and it sucks. Clara says, I managed to get ripped open blisters on every toe at a ballet summer school. And he gave me the antiseptic powder and it saved me. Oh my gosh. That sounds horrifying. I have been there. Isn't it crazy how you just kind of go into this weird hyper-vigilant mode and you're like, it's like, I can remember doing the nutcracker on my, was it sprained ankle? No, it was the stress fracture. I had a stress fracture. I didn't put a boot on it or anything because I was an idiot at the time. I didn't know. I should be kinder to myself. But I did snow and flowers on a stress fracture foot that it had like popped, broken, whatever you want to call it, stress fractured. And I can remember like trying to like do this like run so I could barely put any weight on the foot, and as long as I just stepped on the point, I couldn't roll through, but I could go down and I could go up. So it's just like, and up. It's awful. It's awful. You guys all have everything on video today, and I look back and I'm like, oh, if we had video of what Georgia was doing back then, I don't know. I have found some, and I did get a it's not a transformer, it's some kind of like HDMI cable thingy so that I can actually look at my VHS tapes of me as a teenager performing. And yes, I absolutely am going to share those with you guys, and you all can revel in the majesty that is me at 16 and 17. Oh my God, it's going to be awful and fabulous. And I don't care because I want you guys to see and share all of it with you, because I feel like the more we can kind of take the mystery out of it, the better. And have a laugh. Ooh, Claire says, we call nappy rash cream Bepanthen here. It's perfect to put on a raw red nose when you have a bad cold. God, I wish I could do an Australian accent. Now you know what I'm going to do next. We call nappy rash cream. I can't do it. Yet. I want to figure out how to do an awesome Australian accent and like do it nicely, not rudely, right? I have a couple of friends who are Australian, and I just love it. It is fabulous. Such a beautiful accent. You guys probably don't give a poo-poo where you're at, but to us over here, it's like kryptonite. Oh my God. Okay, but wait. So you put it on your, oh yeah, when you have a bad cold, of course. You felt the moment the blisters ripped opening while the Ramonda variation. Yes! Oh my gosh, Ramonda. This is what happens when you have a pickle martini. Ooh. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Ramonda. Okay, so here's what I'm doing for my ribbons. Let's stick with the plan, Georgia. I dig through my bag to find ribbons. Oh, and other things. Oh, look here. What is this? Oh, iodine. This is another thing you can put on, it's a first aid antiseptic. There was a different use for this and now I've forgotten. But anyways, it's a good first aid antiseptic. This is a silly point shoe party. What I do try to find, this is funny. So, you hate your accent, Claire? No. Trust me. Over here, I'm sorry, I've not heard one other country say, oh, the American accent is just so attractive and enticing. Nobody else says that. But over here in America, we like anything but our accent. Well, that's how I feel. I don't know. Although, well, I do love a good Southern drawl. And being that I am originally from Atlanta, Georgia, the Texan accent is the best. When you have a nice, polite person come up to you from Texas, I want to say gentleman, but now it's like, no, gentleman, lady, whatever, and they say something to you, like, can I help you out? It is so light and understated. It's ridiculous. I'm like, and then I just tell my husband, I'm like, that person has a Texan accent. I'm sorry if I walk off with them. Just corral me back. I don't mean to. I can't help myself. It's terrible. It's so terrible. Okay, wait. Oh, Dancer 21. Hey. Okay, Dancer 21's here. I love it. Any tips on developing your steps into more meaningful than just steps during a story ballet? No, that is such a great question. Oh, yes. And side note, Claire Bear says the rest of the world kind of hates America. I get it. I know Americans will be like, you're not standing up for your country. My dad is like, if you don't like it, then leave. And my feeling is, of course I love my country. It's where I'm from. This is where I was born. I don't love some of the things that are going on here. And I think they deserve to be fixed and addressed and made better. And that's what America is supposed to be all about, is that we are, quicker, better, faster, stronger, and always getting better. We are a melting pot, and we are the sum of all our parts. And we want to work together as a team, right? All this stuff. And then it's like, oh, but actually, no, it's supposed to just be one certain type of person. And that's the way it is. And if you don't like it, get out. I'm like, okay, that seems unfair and wrong. So, yeah, I share your feelings. Okay, but let's get back to the story ballet and making your steps more meaningful. And then we'll get back to this because I really want to talk about the ribbons. Okay. Story ballet. It's important to have good technique. It is important to focus on the steps and understand what it is that your particular choreographer or director want from you, especially if you're in a position where you don't really have as much of a say. When you become Sylvie Guillem and you can do whatever you want, go for it. Then you can walk in and go, I don't like, I'm not saying she did this, I don't know. But like if you're a prima ballerina, I don't like these steps, I changed the steps, whatever, fine. But when you have to do the steps you're given, okay, so stick to that. Now within those steps, then you have to match the musicality. This is always a challenge for me. My musicality is a bit different than necessarily what the director or choreographer wants. So then you have to work around that. You really want to make sure you hit your mark, hit the step on the time, or you're going to get yelled at a lot. So you have some boundaries that you have to play within. Once you have that clear, and the director or choreographer can trust you with that, so that you are embodying their vision, that's important. For the story ballet, it's all about that backstory. So, for instance, Giselle, right? I mean, this gets into acting. Acting 101. Read the acting books. Go out and read them. Go read Stanislavski's A, B, and C books. I'm not going to explain it to you. Just go find them. Look them up. Yes, they are dense, but they're good. You could also try Meisner technique. You could also look up Uta Hagen. She has a great book on acting. Another really good one, if you want to be much more contemporary and get into more of that kind of the down and dirty, is Ivana Chubbuck. I studied with Ivana Chubbuck. She makes Oscar winners, okay? She's good at what she does, and you can get in all the politics or whatever. But her book has 12 steps. Yes, it's kind of like the 12-step program out of AA, and that's kind of hilarious since everybody seems to be in a 12-step program in Los Angeles. But it's good. It's really good. When you're younger, it might be a bit confusing because, I mean, you hope that as a teenager you haven't already started dealing with kind of the issues that people deal with when they get older. But on the other hand, I'm sure Ivana would stand here and say, no, everyone has issues at any age. You just have to tap into them. But for instance, Giselle, right? I'll work with that one. First you want to start with your character and who you are and why. One of my mentors, my jazz mentor, I'm going to rip this down because I can't. I need to frame it. This is Rick Atwell. Rick Atwell is an incredible dancer, choreographer, and teacher. He was huge in the 70s into the 80s, did stuff for Suzanne Summers, Fame, the musical, like all kinds of stuff. He was supposed to be the lead in a chorus line back before it was a chorus line, like it was just a workshop. If you can imagine, right? They're like, oh, we're workshopping a chorus line. Would you want to play the director role? And he's like, well, I'm really getting more into acting now, so that's the story, is that he turned it down. Now, I'm sure someone else will go, that's not the story. I know the other side. Whatever. I love this man. He is such a to me, he was a kind-hearted man. That's me right there. La la, at like, what am I, 20, 21? I don't know. Anyways, this was at the Riverside Church in New York City when we did a showcase. And he always said, Who am I? Where am I? And why am I dancing? And those 3 questions, ask yourself those. Then when you're getting into the steps, so you're doing the Giselle variation, you do a little, like, you're doing that turn, right? Or you're doing that arabesque. Why? Why are you doing that? Well, if you look at the solo, really, sometimes she's doing steps towards her mother. Sometimes she's doing steps very clearly towards the guy she's into. Oh my God, Albrecht. It's been so long. So why is she doing it? Like that sequence where, so you have the first sequence, then the second sequence when she does the attitude turn, and then she kind of gestures towards him in an arabesque. So for me, it was kind of like, I feel a little bit nervous, or I'm like, oh, I want to share my na 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 na. Maybe I'm telling him like, well, I've always been a good girl, and I'm, my mother, I care about her. What do you think? Or maybe, look at my little attitude turn. Are you impressed? Do you like me now? What is it about this guy? What do you need from him? And sometimes if you're like, well, maybe you're not into guys. Maybe you don't have a boyfriend at the time and you can't relate to that. Maybe you're an empowered person who doesn't need anyone in the world. Well, everyone needs something. And usually with characters, it's about getting your power back or getting the love back. Those are the 2 big things, okay? So you need to get your power back or you need to get love. With Giselle, for me, I feel very clearly, there were times where I felt like she wanted to get her power back because her mom and everyone around her was saying, don't dance, you're so weak, you're gonna die, your poor heart, oh my gosh. And she's like, dude, I just want to dance. Back off. I love you, Mom. I love you, villagers. And it's great to pick out your friends amongst the villagers and find reasons to connect with them. You're not just generally gesturing to all the villagers without really making eye contact, but if you have at least 1 or 2 friends in your company or your class, connect with them and have a moment, right? And you're telling them a secret about the guy you like or whatever. Those real moments are what are going to really change the performance, if you can. If you can't even perform it, keep it in your mind. But also with Giselle, though, it's love. She wants so desperately to be loved, right? And for me, it's funny. For me, Albrecht was ballet. That may sound silly, but like, my whole life, I gave up everything for ballet. Like, everything, okay? My social life, friendships, everything. All these other things, because I am somebody who loves to pursue a lot of different things. I love music. I love acting. I love all kinds of stuff that when I say it out loud, it just seems frivolous and silly. But the point is that I sacrificed a lot. And I never felt like it really fully loved me back. I always felt like it was like, you're okay, but I'm still going to like gaslight you and put you down, and you're going to get injured, and you're never going to really quite make it to the level you wanted to. And I always felt like I'm still, there's this piece of me that's like, oh, maybe this time ballet will love me and accept me. Maybe this time, that's the thing. So, but is that what Giselle is about for you? It may not be that at all. I'm just sharing what worked for me at the time. But the thing about acting is, even from day to day, you can try something and it works one day and it doesn't work the next. So you have to check in with yourself constantly and keep a journal. Journals are great. Having thoughts like, this arabesque means this to me or that, and having that in your mind will make a difference. Okay, we have more comments. Let's see. Oh, there's one comment. Here's a fun question. If you were to play a male role, which would you choose? Oh, please. I'm going to say it so badly because my French ain't so good. Le jeune de l'amour, le jeune de l'amour, whatever that is, I would play that for sure. What else? I'm thinking, guys, sorry. Male roles. God, all of them. I mean, not so much where you just lift the girl and stand behind her, but like, all the big jumping roles. Yeah, that would be awesome. What about you? What would you play? I'm curious, what would you do? For me, also, it's interesting with male roles. I tend to think more about like Martha Graham. Isn't that interesting? Stuff like that, like Cave of the Heart. Cave of the Heart, could I just play all the roles? All the roles. I love that. I'm calling it a ballet, even if it's not. So, just FYI. But Claire, Anyone on here, you tell me, what male role would you play? Flames of Paris? Maybe? Now, here's something interesting I want to tell you guys about the ribbons while we're here. Now, these are satin ribbons, so they don't have much stretch. Although it's funny, when I get really sweaty, they do pull a little bit, which is interesting. But it's not the same as those elastic ribbons like these, right? Whoop, not that. Well, I have some in here somewhere. Anyways, imagine. But when I tie my ribbons, I always tie them on the side of my ankle, not on the back. When I put the knot on the back of my ankle, it tends to bother my Achilles tendon again. For whatever reason, it's like it hurts. So I put it to the side. Now, since I put it to the side, excuse me, the ribbons are different lengths. Burp, burp. Okay. So the outside ribbon of the shoe is actually longer than the inside ribbon. I think that's how it works. So you'll notice a lot of times for me, I'll have one ribbon that's way shorter than the other, but that's because when I wrap them around, they come together on the inside of my ankle just perfectly with just a little bit of ribbon left that I can tuck in and trust that it's not going to pop out during the performance. And again, at my studio, we still had to sew our ribbons shut to make sure the ribbons didn't pop out. Ribbons popping out was like, Miss A was like, rah! So people would try and cheat, like tape them or band-aid them, and she'd find out. Rah! So Miss A was watching. I'm sorry, Miss A, I love you. But yeah, sewing them got frustrating because then you'd have time to like undo them and redo them. Anyways, oh, Claire Bear says, I think I would go with Basilio. I love the flirty fun vibes. Yes. Yeah. Which reminds me, actually, Romeo and Juliet, again, all the roles. All the roles. I'm going to wait. Reconnection successful. Yay! Okay, if you guys missed what I was saying a second ago, sorry I lost you guys. I'm going to go ahead and shut down for tonight because there are some other things I need to get done. But I will be doing a live stream this Thursday of me giving myself ballet class. I'm not teaching a class. If you want to follow along, that's great. If anything, I wanted to just share my process with you guys as I am working to kind of get back in better shape so that I can do a little bit more with demonstrating things for you guys and just for myself. But feel free to comment and have a hee-haw time amongst yours. Try not to be too mean, but, you know, again, critical, whatever. That's how it is in ballet. So this Thursday at 7 p.m., I'll be live streaming, giving myself a ballet class. And then on Sundays, I do a Zoom class at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It is free. I'm doing this specifically for dancers right now during COVID-19 who don't have any money, who just want to get their bodies moving. It's not a fancy full ballet class. Woo-hoo-hoo. It's very much about kind of the class you give yourself before you go to class, right? And then right after that, I will live stream myself giving myself a Pointe class. Okay, so it's just me working through my Pointe shoes. Again, I won't be teaching or so much talking with you guys as it is working for myself, but I want to share this process with all of you. It's something to watch and something to learn from. You can learn what to do and what not to do, and that is just good practice for dancers across the board. You can learn something from everyone, right? And you can steal from anyone, make it your own. So that's the goal. So this Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I know, again, that's that weird time, but whatever. I'll be doing that. And then Sunday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time will be my Pointe work. If you want to join my Zoom class, shoot me an email at georgiareed, R-E-E-D, @gmail.com. Again, it's free. If you want to donate money towards it, awesome, I love it. But it's really there for dancers who can't afford to take class right now. And then I'll have more other videos coming out. I'm going crazy, and I'm really enjoying it, actually. I'm actually really happy to be back involved with all of you. I have missed you, believe it or not. So that's it for now. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, shade if you need to. Bring it on. This is Ballerina Badass. Never give up. Never stop dancing. I love you all. I'm making sure there's no other sneaky comments that I missed. Okay. But I do. I love you all. Toi, toi, toi. See you next week.